Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Kathy, and it is August 6th. I was guided to ask a fascinating question to me of those who are on the call today. And we just had a really nice discussion, almost 20 minutes of discussing this. And the question I ask you who are listening now, how have you grown? How have you deepened spiritually in the last year? I want you just to think about that. And one of the things one of the women on the call said is, I have accepted responsibility. I'm paraphrasing her words. I've accepted responsibility for my growth, for where I am, for what I am to do now, more fully, instead of believing it has something to do with someone else. And Amma's actually going to talk about that in her discussion. So just kind of, you might want to even pause this recording and just think for a bit. How have you, if you want to call it, changed in the last year? Looking back a year. Some of us can look back 3 years, when COVID first started, when it's like the world changed. And now that the world has changed, and now it's changing again, coming into some sort of equilibrium, how have things changed for you? There's a number of people in this group that come, they've lost spouses. They've lost sisters and siblings. And some have lost jobs. Some have gotten tired of jobs. How have things changed for you? And just reflect upon that. I just encourage you to pause for a few minutes and do that. And now, let us go into the heart source. Those of you who are familiar with the heart source, just say heart source and you go right in there. And those not familiar with the heart source, move into the front of your heart chakra. The heart chakra is right in the center of your chest. And just imagine that you're going deep within. I see myself as a little person walking into a huge tunnel. And there's all this wonderful energy of the heart. Good. And now staying there, you're going to be, it's more than bilocating what we're doing with this. You're now going to move your consciousness around to your back and go into the back of your heart center. And I'm feeling somebody go in a little bit too low. Just go up about an inch, inch and a half. Some of you are right there. You go right where you belong and move into this. Now, the back of your heart center is a very special place, because as you go deeper within, it's like going through a tunnel or going through a hallway. And then you just suddenly step into this, like the grand ballroom. It's just huge. And that is your sacred space. And there are classes that we've done that have done work in the sacred space and what you can do there. But just go deep within. And now, staying in those two places, the front and back of your heart, come around to the front again and enter into the front of your third eye, the sixth chakra. Again, going deep within. Now, a little thing to look for. And with that awareness, as you go deep within the front of your third eye, the violet flame is at the back. Not in the back of the third eye, it is in the back of the front of the third eye, close to the pranic tube. And we're going to activate that in a little bit. But know that that is always with you and you can call upon that. And now, being in that place, go around to the back and go into the back of your third eye. There you go. Now, draw, imagine, create, intend a beam of energy from your heart chakra to your third eye, connecting the two, and feel the difference of what happens when you make that connection. Even now, after the years I've been doing this, there's this, it's not as strong as it used to be, but it's almost like a little electrical current that goes, and it's like it connects things. Now send that beam of energy straight up into the center of the universe. It knows where to go. And now keeping it there in the center of the universe, come all the way down, down through your body, and send that beam of energy straight down into the center of the earth. And this is the heart source. When you do this enough, you get this like fully ingrained in your energy. All you need to do is say heart source, and it automatically snaps into place. And now a command. Chakras, spin as fast as you can, as fast as is safe for me. Now, an intention is that we're clearing out the chakras of congested energy. So breathe in deeply, bringing in energy from above and below, bringing that energy into your heart, and allow that energy from your heart to spread out to all of your chakras and out throughout your bodies, through the meridians and through all the little meridian channels and everything like that, to go through your bodies. And the clear energy coming in from above and below is going to add, it's like clean water when you're, it's like I did this morning. I burned junk on my air fryer. And so I let it soak overnight, and putting in the clean water gives you a chance to just clean it out. So just do that. And it even helps if you just say, it's okay, chakras, you can let it go. Those of you who know encodements, remove all the artificial encodements holding in congestion. Repair the damaged and altered natural encodements whose damage is holding in congestion, and just let that happen. Breathing in deeply. Good. Good. Okay, another command. Heart source, extend out to the furthest reaches, either of when I hold my hands out parallel to the floors, to the tips of my fingers, or to the seventh layer of my aura, whichever is larger. And some of you, your aura can be extending out into the other room or into the hallway or touching the trees. There you go. And now here's another command. Actually, it's a statement. For those of you that have received Archangel Michael's sword, you state, I am the sword. And your entire physical and energetic body turns into the sword. And what does that mean? That means that wherever you walk, whatever you touch, you are transmuting low vibration energy into high vibration energy. For those of you who are listening and have not received the sword, take a moment now. You're in your heart source, and ask Archangel Michael to come. And he's right there with you. And ask if you may have his sword. It's for your protection and for your work in transmuting energy. And hold out your dominant hand, palm up, and he will place the hilt of the sword in your hand, and just grasp it. Even now, when I do this, as many times as I have done it, I feel the sword there. And then hold it straight up in front of you where the point is going upwards. And then place the sword in your heart chakra, and the energy of it moves throughout your body. And now when you say, I am the sword, you are the sword, and your finger can be the sword. You can clear a little bit of congested energy. It can become microns big, where you go in and actually, Michael is telling me, where you could clear congestion in your arteries or in your veins. And you can walk through a shopping center or through a store and just, I am the sword, and know that you are transmuting low vibration energy wherever you walk. Simple commands, isn't it? And now one more command. Violet flame, please activate 360 degrees around the seventh layer of my aura. And this is a very strong protection for you. And any of this low vibration energy that comes in, the violet flame is right there to help stem it or transmute it. And then your being the sword amplifies that even more. Amma suggests that we learn how to do this so that we are in this space 24/7. Being aware. And this is a very powerful tool that you can use. And it's our responsibility to call it forth. Great. So now we're all gathering in the healing lecture room. There's a floor of light below us, a canopy of light above us. There are 4 pillars, one in each corner. And we ask angels, and you can ask for angels of a particular band. I just asked all those who are interested in working in our session today, and there are all kinds coming in of all many different colors and bands. What are the bands? Archangel Michael has his band, Raphael has his, Zachiel has his. So, and we belong to a band, or we come in, we also work with many others. And here they are putting their energy around the healing lecture room. And it's another form of protection for all of us. And it does not matter where in time you are listening to this call, you are there. And it is now time, because that is all that's on the other side, is now time. There we go. And there is a central pillar here. By the way, I've adapted this from the Melchizedek method that I took many years ago. And the central pillar is there. And in the central pillar comes all manner of wonderful spiritual beings. And I see groups coming in. The first 2 I always see, and it could be part of from my tradition, is Yeshua and Buddha. They are brothers. They're great friends. And they come in laughing, grinning, chattering, waving their arms, their hands. And there are others that come in, the Chohans of the 7 rays, actually Chohans of 12 rays. They're coming in. You have other people and saints from whatever your tradition is, whoever is important to you is coming in. And they go into the central pillar, which is really infinitely large, and are here to provide their energy for us. There you go. And now, again, stepping out is Hilarion, who is the Chohan, or the master, or the Lord, or the head, if you want to call him, of the ray of healing, the 5th ray of healing. It's the emerald green or jade green ray of healing. And he is stepping out now to lead us. This is going to be a different healing ceremony than usual, because I'm going to teach you something. Some of you who have worked with me privately have done this, but it's time for everyone to have this. This is an easy way for you to release the energy of whatever feeling that you have. So if it is anger, if it is fear, if it is envy, if it is jealousy, if it is victim consciousness, you can release it in this way. And Hilarion, he's going to let me guide us through it, because I've done this so many times. But connect with your healing team. Ask your healing team to point out to you where you are holding on to congested energy. It doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be this huge thing. It could be just a twinge somewhere. But just to learn this, because you can teach this to other people. Wherever you're holding congested energy, like if you think, well, there's grief, or there's a little bit of sadness, or there's this or that or the other. It could even be in a physical pain. I think I'll work on my shoulder today. That one is having a hard time getting out of the pain. It could be tightness in your gut. It could be tightness in your knee. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to connect with that energy, whether it's tightness in your body is usually how it shows up, or if it's a pain, or if you think of maybe you're angry with someone or in fear for someone, just think of that energy and then ask, where is it in my body? Okay, once you connect with it, or you think you're connected with it, you don't have to worry about whether or not you're really connected or not, because you are. Ask that energy, what are you? Take the first thing that pops into your head. What are you? So if it's fear, which is what popped into my head with my right shoulder, if it is fear, ask, fear about what? Anger about what? Again, you take the first thing that comes to you. And if that word is like, oh, I can go deeper on that. So for instance, I got health. Then say, what about my health? And what area is it that I have fear about my health? Anger. What about the anger? Where is it? What about it? And you keep going deeper. You keep asking, what about, what is, go deeper until you feel like, ah, there it is. There's the core. Now, here's another interesting question to ask the energy, because we often carry feelings for other people. Women are excellent at it, carrying feelings for others. Ask the question, whose energy are you? Whose fear? Whose anger? Whose sadness? Whose are you? You might get yours, you might get one of your children, a spouse, a friend, or it could go back to when you were younger, a parent, a sibling that you've been carrying all of your life. Okay. Now, I know I may be going fast for some of you. And if I am, and you're doing this, please just listen to it again. I'll get it posted hopefully today. Get it all posted and you can just listen to it. Now, let's say you have at least two people's, you're carrying somebody's and you have your own energy, whatever that emotion is. Work with the emotion that is not yours first, the one you've been carrying. So let's say you found out that you're carrying your mother's fear, your mother's anger, your mother's whatever, even your mother's depression or sadness. And you call forth that energy and you say, you are not mine. I will not carry you any longer. And you're talking to the energy. I will not carry you any longer. Leave now, and take a deep breath and blow it out of you, wherever it is. If you don't feel like it's all gone, same thing. Leave now. Deep breath, blow it out. Now, if you feel like it's having a hard time going, healing team, remove all artificial encodements which are holding in, keeping me bound to this energy. Repair the damaged and altered natural encodements holding in this energy. You're basically going to be doing the basic plug-in. Soul healing team, please find and bring back to me all the pieces of myself that I lost, and their being lost is having me hold on to this energy. Clean, repair, heal all pieces. and fully integrate all pieces within me. And now say, go now, leave me. You're talking to that energy that was somebody's that's not yours. Now, when you feel like that energy, as much as possible, is gone, find out if there's somebody else's energy in there. So maybe you're carrying one for your dad, one for your mom, one for your little sister. You just address each one like that. But now we're going to go to your energy, your anger, your fear, your whatever. And just say, I want to talk to my fear, my anger, my envy, my jealousy, whatever it is. And now say to it, thank you for being there. Thank you for giving me the knowledge and wisdom that I need. And you might even want to say what that is. What did you learn from this? What wisdom have you gained? And now, again, thank you. You have done an excellent job, and your job is now finished. Leave now. And take a deep breath and blow it out. And this just popped into my head. You can also say, healing encodement team, please activate all of my encodements, or if I don't have these particular ones, create and activate the encodements for me to incorporate this wisdom and knowledge into my entire energy structure. And one final step. If you need to do that more than once, please do, but one final step. Connect with your God as you understand your God. And ask, please fill all of the empty spaces I now have where I release this energy. Please fill it totally, completely with your love. And sit there, stand there, lie there with complete trust that you are being filled with love. Wonderful. And you can do this as often as you want. You can even take it with a pain that you don't necessarily have an emotion with. This is part of taking responsibility for ourselves. And so now, give thanks to your healing team and to yourself for everything you've done. And now pull up a chair in the lecture room. Amma says, or if you want to be in a bed, go ahead and do that too. Whatever, make yourself comfortable. Ask your encodement team to please activate any encodements that are needed for you to be able to listen to and integrate within you Amma's words. And if you would do me the favor of connecting heart to heart to me as well as to the central pillar. And the next one you hear will be Amma the Divine Mother. Dear ones, I am Amma the Divine Mother of the Divine Mothers, and as I enjoy telling you, I am your mother. Over the last few months, myself and others have come in to talk to you about what is needed during this stage of life. And I'm not speaking necessarily of your life, although that is true, but of life as you know it in this third dimension. For years, decades, people have come in, channels have come in, and they have talked about the concept of ascension. And we have talked about it. We have talked about it as a stage of spiritual growth. We have talked about it as something everybody will achieve at some point. Maybe I haven't mentioned that. Have achieved ascension at some point, and you can do it more quickly or more slowly. That is up to you on the soul level. But we have been giving you things to do to achieve this state of spiritual growth as quickly as possible. Now, some of you were talking about, those who were live on this call, were asked the question of how have you grown in the last year? What have you learned? What have you experienced? And some of you have come to great understandings and awarenesses. Others, it is a deepening of understanding and awarenesses. And one of the most important things said is, I realize my responsibility. And that is what I want to talk to you about, is responsibility. There are those of you who are listening to this message who have studied many different people's spiritual messages. You have studied them from people who say that they're spiritual, and you have studied them from people who don't really talk about their spirituality, but they have messages of deepening. And these messages of deepening can be simple messages you hear from a therapist or a psychologist or a teacher, a coach, that will talk about the importance of communication, the importance of listening, of reflecting back what you believe you have heard, the importance of being in your heart. And that is usually from the spiritual teachers, right? To be in your heart. Many people do not realize, I know that you do, but many people do not realize that they can find the awareness of where they are focusing in their life. They can tell when you know that you are speaking from your heart, or you're speaking from your gut, or you're speaking from your second chakra, that one of power in the outside world. Or you're speaking from what you know and remember of the first chakra, the connections that you were with. You can feel when you are speaking your truth from your throat, because it activates more than the throat chakra when you do that. When you speak your truth, you are also in your heart, and you are in your third chakra, the personal power chakra, the chakra of the heart, which redefines all other chakras when you get in touch with that. You know what accepting responsibility is. Others may not. The truth about accepting responsibility is knowing on the deepest spiritual level that every one of you is you, that everyone you see is you, that every person that you walk into that tries to run you off the road, that you have an argument with, that you feel cheats you or demeans you or whatever, is simply assisting you to grow and to develop in the ways that you were growing. So one responsibility is for you to be aware of those around you who are there chose, and you chose them and they chose you to help you to grow. And of course, some of the most difficult choices are the people who you agreed with before you even incarnated that they would hurt you or you would hurt them. And what is your responsibility in that? Well, to heal. And you heal by letting go of things, of recognizing that what someone does to you, and I'm putting does to you in quotes because they are following your script, so that you can learn to stay in your heart, to release the energy from that, and to grow in wisdom and in grace. Those of you who are swimmers, who do laps, and you know that you're there swimming in the water, putting one arm in front of the other and kicking those feet, and you come to the edge of the pool and you flip and push off from the pool and go swimming again. And you go deeper and deeper within yourself and your skills as you swim. Each time you come to the wall of the pool and you use that to push off into another realm. When you come to someone who hurts you or whom you have hurt, your job is to use that experience to grow in wisdom and grace. It is not, why did they do that to you? That is called victim consciousness. It is, what was I to learn in this? What was I to experience? How was I to experience this person? What have I come to know? And you can only answer that question from your heart. Now, you know I prefer you be in your heart source, that 7-point system that you have developed, because it connects you in many, many ways with yourself and with others. So your question is not, this is the responsible way of doing it. It is not, why did that happen to me? The question is, what was I to learn and experience about love from this? It's a whole different way of looking at things, isn't it? It helps to know a few things, to know that you are love incarnate and the other person is love incarnate. It helps to know that you had this grand plan before you incarnated. Oh, not you and your third dimensional self, but your soul self, who is learning all about love and expanding and expanding. You have made choices from the time before you incarnated to put things in your path to learn about what love is. You have made choices to discover certain teachers who can teach you about what love is and how to be in that state of a loving person, of love incarnate within your heart source, to recognize how everyone around you, even if they are holding a gun to your head, is love incarnate. The world and many spiritual traditions, they talk about forgiveness. And someone in your prelude to this Sunday ceremony mentioned forgiveness and then said, but really, there is no need for forgiveness because there is nothing to forgive. And people go, what do you mean there is nothing to forgive? This person did this to me. No. First, you agreed. that this person would play act that thing, whether it is a parent who is rejecting you, whether it are people all along your life that misunderstand you. You go, well, why would I plan someone misunderstanding all through my life? Do you know what that causes you to do if you stay in your heart? It causes you to look within yourself and discover who it is you are. Because if they are misunderstanding you, you are misunderstanding yourself. You do not know who it is you truly are. There is only one reason or one word for who it is you truly are. That word is love. That is a hard word to agree with, that you are love. You have been given tools by many teachers. Some of them were rough teachers. Some of them were heart-centered teachers. What is it that you use to learn and to release that which you do not know? Use those tools. Those of you who grew up in religions, even though you may reject that religion now, what were the things you learned within that religion that are still valid today? Not the things that say you are a sinner from the moment of conception, not that kind of thing. But when you rebelled against that, when you learned to go deeper into yourself in a spiritual level and said, wait a minute, I'm not that. And you may be angry about it, but you learned it. So release the anger. You just had a tool given to you to release the energy of those things. You have been given the heart source. You have been given Michael's sword. You have been given the violet flame. Many of you know the Ho'oponopono. You have been given the Ho'oponopono. Many of you have learned about different types of healing work, whether it is body talk or reflect or Reiki or Psych-K or reflective listening, which is taught cognitive behavior therapy. You have been given many, many tools. It is your responsibility to use those tools. And you may try them and it doesn't bring you to exactly where you want, but there is a little bit of progress and you reject them. Well, you can reject those things that do not work for you. What is that expression you have? Do not throw out the baby with the bathwater. That's an interesting expression. The baby is what you are beginning to learn, what you are beginning to experience. When you were born, you were ready to be loved and to be cared for. Each person in your life and each thing that you do teaches you something about love. Even the way you go to bed teaches you about love. Do you go to bed in a way that feels good to you? What does that mean? Well, do you go tense or angry? Does your mind filled with things? Do you know that, oh, I feel terrible when I eat so soon before bed, but I want to eat anyway, but your stomach is upset, so you don't sleep well? Well, what do you need to do there? Maybe not that night, but maybe the next night. It is the responsibility that you now have. How can you tell a person that is deeply on their spiritual path with awareness? You can tell them not only by their love, by their acceptance of responsibility for their actions and what they have learned from those that have hurt them and harmed them. because they know that that person is love incarnate and they contracted with them to have this happen. You begin to balance the third dimensional aspects of what happened. No, it was not your fault that somebody held a gun to your head. It was not your fault that somebody sexually abused you, not on the third dimensional level. Never was that on that level your fault. However, you made a plan in responsibility and in love to learn what you wanted to learn about love. Those of you who had those horrible things happen to you on the third dimensional world are people of great courage, because they take much to teach you about love, because you have to dig into yourself beyond your pain and find yourself as a being of love. And then release that which taught you. One of my favorite metaphors is one with candy. Candy in wrappers, chocolate in wrappers, anything within wrappers. Inside of that wrapper, what you see is sweetness or the chocolate. Inside of that wrapper is wisdom and knowledge. Your experience of love, what you have learned about love. And the wrapper itself is the event. Do not carry the wrapper with you. Release the wrapper. Accept your responsibility to discover what love is in every situation. Use the tools you have been given, no matter where you heard them from. And above all, remember, you are the power and presence of God. You are the power of God on this planet, the creative energy, and you are the presence of that creative energy to reveal to others how to be love. And you and them and everyone you see is love incarnate. And hold within your heart that you are beloved and loved more deeply than you could ever know. My blessings to you, responsible ones. My blessings to you. Okay. I apologize for going over a little bit. I think it was a good session today, wasn't it?
Beautiful. Beautiful, Dr. Kathy. Thank you.
You're welcome. Many blessings to all of you. Enjoy being loved. Spend some time reviewing.
Yes.
Even the painful things of what you learned about love.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Take care. Much love to all of you. Bye.
Many blessings. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye, Cleo. Bye, Margaret.